I think Team Empire now, you probably want to pick a hero that you can fight around in your offlane. You need like some tanky heroes, something like Tide may be okay. It's not great. Like Darkseer as well could be okay with the tiny. Kind of enables that hero a little bit more.
Yeah, Darkseer is definitely an option. They can't. No, they could still pick themselves up a Oracle on the side of Kaban though.
They could actually. Yeah, you can't pick Darkseer yet. That's very true. And Oracle Earth Spirit sounds like a good combination. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to see Synderen pick Oracle this game anyway up against the Viper. It's a really good hero up against Viper just to stop that magic damage coming out. Who's going to play the Morph and who's going to play the Pango this game? That's what I'm interested in. Because I feel like we're still yet to see DK Phobos' hero. Like, I would imagine it's probably a Pango mid and a Morph safe lane, but I'm not unsure.
Slark? This hero is dead.
Is it though? Up against Pango Morph?
Yeah, sounds pretty good.
The leash is really good. And Earth Spirit as well. The leash is really good.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely probably the only Slark game I've seen in recent times where it's actually it's not a good meta for Slark, is what I'm trying to say. It's just there's so many heroes which counter him, which is super popular right now. He's a little bit underwhelming, especially with the Pounce doing no damage. Didn't look like a big nerf, but it does kind of. He just does so little. He needs so much. He needs so much.
On a hero that gets kills, pickoffs though, like any kind of damage that gets taken off the hero is really like it can be much bigger than you think.
Yeah, exactly. It's quite painful, but with the tiny, he's got a roaming partner already. Guy's going to come round and hit heroes with him, which is really nice. And also the Viper can even be that as well in the right situations.
I want to see I was going to say Oracle Darkseer from Kaban. I think they could still pick the Darkseer for themselves as well. The thing I like about the Slark is as well, it's quite like an early tempo aggression hero, and it fits with how the Viper wants to play. So you've seen teams like today. It feels like they've mismatched their cores with when they want to win the game. They haven't really met the same win point time in the game, and I feel like Slark and Viper kind of want to do that though, where Slark gets the Shadow Blade, plays aggressively in the enemy's jungle, tries to get pickoffs in between farming. Tiny and Viper want to do the same as well. Wyvern can just sit in a lane and shove out the lane while they do that. It's a much better draft from Empire this time, I think. It feels a lot safer.
Yeah, agreed.
They seem to think it's going to be a Pango off lane by banning out the troll.
Yeah, that's the way they're drafting. Could still be the Pango mid, and mind you, can Pango lane at mid versus Viper?
Yeah, he can. It's not too bad.
10 seconds remaining.
Like the Viper's not the strongest in lane. Like Nether Toxin's annoying, but Pango has really good last hit animation, so he is able to get farm. Obviously with the disarm from the lucky shot as well as pain in the ass to lane against.
Yeah,
I still think they want some kind of aura builder, like tanky. They need like a Pipe Crimson builder, I think, on Kaban. Tide's really bad against Slark. I don't think you want to go for that. Darkseer seems like the best option to me, and then you just put the Iron Shell in the Earth Spirit, and he becomes a completely different hero as well.
Yeah, his kill potential goes through the roof.
What else could they go for? Pugner plays okay with Earth Spirit. It's not great.
Radiant team pick.
Well, the question I'm kind of having is the Wyvern going to be enough to avenge? Okay, so it is going to be Pangolier on the off lane, Morphling in the safe lane, and Venge at mid. Or maybe Morph mid. We'll see what they decide to do. Actually, Morph mid seems
could be Venge off
likely.
lane or Pango off lane, I think.
Yeah, true.
Like, Venge Earth Spirit's a really strong dual off lane up against this Wyvern Slark. Sounds pretty strong.
Yeah, they've got their options wide open.
10 seconds remaining.
Could be Venge carry Morph mid, like you say. And their core options are very, very open on Kaban with how they can lane it. Whereas Viper, Viper's going to go mid, Slark's going to go safe lane, and they're going to pick an off laner now.
Choose your hero.
Taking up Leshrac.
Tiny core.
Man, Leshrac with the Nether Toxin sounds awful. This is going to hurt.
But the thing is, it's such a good Oracle game though. It looks really good. It is going to be DK Phobos Pango, okay, and they're going to put Morph mid Venge carry. I mean, fair enough. It's such a good Oracle game. If Synderen can be in the right place all the time this game, he is the key hero here. There is nothing they can do if they don't bring the Oracle down first. This magic resistance is going to be amazing. The save is really good against the curse from the Wyvern.
Yeah,
it's up to Team Empire to find Cinderin at the start of these fights. I'm really hoping Seiyu gets an early blink so that he can find Oracle and bring him down first.
Yeah, this is a really good Oracle game, and but we have we've got Leshrac, Viper, and Seiyu Tiny 1-on-1 team as well. These especially the Leshrac and the Viper have been very, very popular in a lot of these competitive games recently. Viper first banned material almost every single time, so I love that Kaban are trying to play into it, but I'm wondering if they might be running an unnecessary risk here and possibly risking a loss. It's going to be interesting to find out.
Can they go aggro try on Kaban with Venge, Oracle, Earth Spirit?
It seems likely that they will, actually.
I mean, Earth Spirit's so rubbish in tri lanes, though. Like, you don't want to put that hero in a tri lane. You want it to be able to freely move across the map. So, and I'm not sure if Pango can 1v1 a Lesh. That sounds pretty hard, actually.
I don't think it'll be that. I mean, I don't know
do
if
you
it'd
want
be
to
good,
tri lane into a Tiny as well? Probably not. They are going aggro. Jesus. I'm surprised. I mean, the way their draft looks, like whenever someone picks Avenge as a core, you always kind of have to be careful about whether they're going to tri lane or not.
Yeah, I was
has
about
really
to say
good kill
that as well.
potential.
It always seems likely that they will, but at the same time, like when the other heroes don't lend themselves to it particularly well, Oracle's okay, but you definitely want. And I think it will work. You've got just about enough here to open up some kill potential whilst not having like these two squishies just die. But if they start giving away too much in this tri lane, if they give away a couple of kills or anything, then I think things are going to go real wrong for Kaban real quick.
Mm-hmm. Good ward by Cinderin as well from behind the trees. Spots out that Wyvern in the top lane.
Yeah, was he being pinged there though? I didn't see who was pinging.
I didn't see either. I assume it was the Radiant side. Oh dear, not lag again.
Lag again. Oh, Cinderin. Silly old goose.
I genuinely thought I was hearing double there for a second, like through your mic or something, but it was just Viper spamming the chat wheel twice. Is Cinderin going to unpause and then pause again straight away? Let's find out.
There's nanosecond lag detectors. All right, looks like we go. Very short break. Nice and civil.
The Wyvern's just picking himself. Yes. The thing is as well, Cinderin puts this deep ward down, but they don't want to show their lanes. So you see DK Phobos on this Pango is hiding very far away. So if the Tiny and the Lesh walk up the hill, they might not spot him out.
Like to show himself.
Oh, there you go.
You fool, DK Phobos.
So Slark's not really sure what he wants to do here. I'm pretty sure you just put the Lesh bot in a 1v1 and then you move the Tiny top lane and just match the tri lane.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's could go either way, but the toss can be really, really good, especially with the Slark with a pounce to hold them still afterwards, to like hold them under tower or something like that. It's a very strong combo, but we'll see what they decide to do. I love the way Sai is chasing down as well, not necessarily to do any damage here, but just to watch where the Pango goes.
Okay, so Skitter and DK Phobos are both hanging around the mid lane here. It looks like they have decided to swap, but I wouldn't be surprised to see them just sit here for a sec and just wait to see where the core show, just to make sure they get good lane matchups.
Just hanging out, two buds hanging out in the mid lane, having a chat.
There's mind games, right? Because when you see DK Phobos there, they're expecting Slark to swap to the bot lane, but they're not sure. Yeah, so they see the Slark top, they're like, yeah, okay, we're just going to send this Venge up here as well.
Yep, makes sense.
This Tiny wants to spot the core that's coming over. He's kind of hunting here. He knows that somebody's going to be moving.
Bivo, the Arctic Burn's coming out onto him, but the Slark doesn't really want to level anything just yet. I think he might maybe go for the... I mean, either the Essence Shift or the Dark Pact is pretty good, but I think if he sees a try-and situation, then he might be inclined to take the Pounce just for a bit of escape. Going to be interesting to see what he decides to go for this game.
The problem with Wyvern as a support as well is that like when you get Arctic Burn at level 1 here, you're a hero for like every 50 seconds. Like when you have Arctic Burn, you're a hero, but when you don't, you just don't do anything in this lane. Like you can't harass anybody. Like your damage is so low. Yeah, Slark's just going to TP bot, and I think they're going to have to swap again here on Kaban's side.
Yep, and they do so instantly as the TPs come out. And already the Venge is down. Hello.
But it does force the Kaban supports the TP as well, so they have got some kind of advantage here.
Oh, they're actually going for this one as the toss is in. The pounce as well onto Skitter here, but the hit away from Biver. Gonna save Skitter's life, and now Biver will actually die in response as Maiden brings him down. Just a bit of a scuffle, but yeah. Nicely done from the Earth Spirit to save his core, but unfortunately dying himself there in response, but you know.
It does mean that Biv has had to take kick at level 1 as well, which is not something where you really want to see. You really want to be getting that rolling boulder at level 1. So he's going to have to be just sitting in a lane to get that level 2 now, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's that never feels particularly good as Venge going for the pull will be interrupted by Sayu as Tiny just dances in front of the creeps here and no chance of Venge being able to pull that aggro back, so we'll fail on the pull. And Slug's had a pretty good start to things. And meanwhile, in the middle lane, Morphling laning up versus the Viper. I'm not sure how this matchup goes. I feel like this should probably be a Viper-favoured lineup, but so far it is a Morphling who's coming out pretty far ahead.
It's pretty even early on, but when Morph gets to like level 4 and 5, he should start to pull ahead. Viper's always going to get farmed with Nether Toxin, but Morph has the bigger base damage advantage in this lane. And you see Viper's starting to run out of mana here now as well. So.
Yeah, Nine not really too bothered about the poison as he can just, you know, there's no burst damage on the Viper, so the threat of Nine dying here is practically none, unless there's a rotation to come in as well.
Yeah, he'll be fine.
Meanwhile, Maiden able to just kind of zone out DK Phobos up here. The Pangolier doesn't really know what to do with himself versus this Leshrac.
They have got the lanes they wanted though on Kaban, so they've got this this Pangolin 1v1 against the Lesh, and now they've got this tri-lane that they wanted. So
yeah,
I'm not really sure what they're supposed to do against this tri-lane that Empire have though. It feels very like, yeah, we get to level 3 and maybe we get kills on Kaban's side, but that Tiny's going to be really strong.
And the reason you tri-lane is not to kind of draw even or trade kills. It's to crush the Slark. That's what their aim of this game was. Is just to take the Slark out of the game, and they're not going to be doing that.
Well, the thing is that you always want to try and into a Slark if you can, because the hero's so XP dependent.
Yeah.
Like you really need level 6 on that hero for it to come online and just farm a lot quicker. And if you can delay that as much as you can by forcing them to tri-lane.
Toss back onto Cinder, an immediate pounce as well onto the Oracle, just trying to keep him still. In comes the Avalanche as well. Do they have enough damage to bring him down? They certainly do. As down goes Cinder, and yeah, this is Slark having a very good lane and also getting a couple of kills with it as well. Meanwhile, in the middle lane, they do get the kill onto Kodos. So I think they made that play onto Cinder because they realized that there was someone missing from the lane. I'm surprised that they didn't then back out on the Viper as well, but maybe he's just like, well, if I bait myself, then, you know, we still get stuff from it.
The thing is, the Dire really need a ward between the lanes at the moment to see where this Earth Spirit's rotating around. Because at the moment, he's kind of doing whatever he wants, and he might be able to just get another kill top here as well. He's going to try and play for this rune by the looks of it.
Roll forwards, Madden kicked away from the rune. Biver really wants it for himself and will be able to take it. Meanwhile, Leshrac held still. He could be in some trouble here as Cinderon's rotated himself in as well. And the right click from DK Phobos will finish the job as Maiden will die on the Leshrac. And smokes up as they'll collect this bounty rune as their reward and maybe look into the jungle as well. No, it's actually a rotation towards the mid lane from Cind here. Just going to get some wards down over here. Meanwhile, Skitter eats through the trees.
The thing is where Kodos didn't have a good lane before on the Monkey King and had to try and make moves, he's playing a hero this time that just goes to the jungle, presses Nether Toxin on the floor, and he's basically just got the same farm speed as the Morphling anyway. So it's not a massive deal in comparison to last game that he didn't have a good laning stage.
Yeah.
But yeah, obviously still not ideal.
Yeah, it definitely hurts just give 9 a free lane 2 games in a row as well. You know, you just kind of feel like the worst mid in that situation, which never feels good for anybody. You know, it hurts.
Oh, yeah.
It hurts deep.
It feels bad.
It's a deep burn.
But he sees the catapult coming in. He sees the catapult coming in now, so goes to defend the wave. He just can't just let this morph take his tower for free.
Yeah. Still a really good start for 9 once again, and we know how it went last time. Meanwhile, Elmo trying to start pack down some creeps and clear these guys out as quickly as possible. Yeah, he's doing very well for himself in the Slark, and giving a Slark a good start to a game is always risky as he goes for this Midas. Pretty good item on Slark now, to be honest. It gives him a way to get money as quickly as the other cores do. while still being able to play actively around the map, and also the attack speed really benefits him a lot as well.
Yeah, I think that's the most important thing, that heroes who buy Midas now should be able to benefit from the attack speed, most of them. I think the only hero one that doesn't is probably Earth.
He didn't hit the Dark Pack there, but will now do so as he tries to run himself away, and maybe that saved his life. I'm not too sure from the Earth Spirit roll coming in on the side there. Meanwhile, Sayu is in the trees, and he's going to show himself now, looking for a toss under tower, but will not find one as he backs himself off. These constant waves of terror being super annoying as well. Another thing about Wave of Terror... the creeps come under tower. Ooh.
Just before the Watts. Next onto the Lesh, Madden's TP'd in, so the Edict and the Nova going away. They do pick up the Earth Spirit kill, and there's the hand grenade that we saw earlier as tosses the Lesh in. Nice stun to stop him. The Tiny actually has a toss-up in 2 seconds here, so he might be able to throw Synderen back onto the Lesh. Lesh just got the mana for a stun. Can he get out here? It's going to be close. Oh, he does. Just about gets the kill on Madden.
Back into the game. What did we miss? What did we miss? Sorry about that.
They managed. It's really good. He tried to leap away, but got stuck and the roll blocked off. But Madden TP'd in on the Lesh and managed to clean up a little bit there. So really good for him. Got some good XP and gold. And Sayu on this Tiny is getting pretty farmed, I think. He's having a decent time.
Getting bigger by the minute.
But the problem is Skitter on this Venge isn't really achieving any. As long as Morph has a good time, though, they should be okay in theory, because there isn't really a great way of stopping this Morph. I'm just a little bit worried that when the Dire are going to hit this timing around like 15-20 minutes, where they're all just really strong. Like this Lesh Pank, the Lesh Viper and Slark are all going to be wanting to fight at that point. And moment she is not ready.
Yeah, that Atos is going to be really powerful against her as well. Like, does it stop swap? I can't. I think it might be one of the spells which it doesn't stop.
I think you can swap out of route anyway. I think.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
You can, okay.
I think. But like you've talked about 9 having a free lane on this Morph.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive, but you know, the classic max points in Nether Toxin coming into play.
What a classic. They are going to get this mid-tier 1 though, which is pretty nice.
Top lane. Wyvern could be in a bit of trouble here as Rolling Thunder comes through, but the Cold Embrace going to buy him a little bit of time, and DK Phobos has to go for the long turnaround. He's got nothing to bounce off of the Swashbuckle. On that Wyvern, so gank successful in the top lane as they rotate in 2 cores and do find themselves a kill for it as well. Trying to get a bit of as they start off this game. I mean, they do have the Morphlings, they can afford to play a little bit of a slower game, but that doesn't mean they're not going to go for kills or anything like that, especially with their Pangolier.
I mean, the thing is, Skitter's not having a job just to empower the Morphling this game with the physical damage amp from the wave and the aura, so it should allow them to take Roche at a good time if they can get away with it. But this Viper has an Atos, this Lesh has an Atos. They are tanky now. It wouldn't surprise me to see them just try and group up and start taking towers around this Edict.
Yeah, I think that's what they need to do. Morphling, he still doesn't do enough just yet to be considered a big threat. It's not unlike some other mids. You know, other heroes, you put them at mid, you give them 10 minutes of free farm, and they're going to be a beast. You won't be able to beat them. But Morphling, he's not that bad. And I think Empire should realize this and start trying to put some pressure onto Kaban and make sure that he can't get to a little bit of space here, but how much space can really be made? Well, in comes Synderen here, who... Okay, she's going to TP himself out. Now Viper comes into the fight, and now the Nether Toxin comes down, trying to bring down DK Phobos. DK Phobos gets himself away, though.
Top lane as well, though. They managed to kill off Skitter. The way, when he was in Nether Toxin, he managed to one-hit lucky shot the Tiny to stop him from tossing him up. Extra
bonus damage and lifesteal as well. And A little bit of tankiness as well, but yeah. This could be a problem for Kaban. And this, I swear I see this so often when I see Venges though.
Yeah, they just end up under-leveled, but then they always somehow come back into the game, I'm sure. That's the...
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, they're going on to Skinner here. The false promise going to keep him alive for the time being. Cinder doing his best to try and heal him up and purge him off here, but I don't think it's going to be enough to keep Skinner alive. No, it will not be, as Medden will do the most damage to him inside that false promise.
Nine is still farming up in the Morphling in the top lane at least, but again, look at this Edict just ripping through towers. There's one. There's another tier 1 gone. Can they get a toss back?
No, Sai can't close the distance. Doesn't want to be under tower. Oh my god, that's so much damage actually coming through already with that swashbuckle as well. And actually goes in for the roll, but immediately gets Winter's cursed up by Archangel here, so it's going to stop the onslaught of the Pangolier.
I mean, yeah, we questioned the Wyvern pick, but there you go. That's one of the reasons. I mean, the thing is, like, Winter's Curse has an 80-second cooldown. Rolling Thunder has a 70-second cooldown. They're pretty much the same. So whenever that Rolling Thunder's up and ready to go, Black Archangel should be ready to pounce back.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Say he's gone for this double bracer build on the Tiny as well. I'm surprised. I thought he would have really wanted to rush that Blink this game.
Yeah, that is, I mean... Yeah, a lot of that. Leshrac could be in some trouble, but the Avalanche going to save the day as it comes to Purge out as well, trying to keep Maiden alive here and will be successful in doing so. And she got the return con to Biver as well.
Oh boy. But just look at the 3 net worths on the die cores at the moment. Yes, 9's on top on this morph, but is he going to be able to fight all 3 of these cores pretty much by himself?
It's a really big ask, isn't it? But they don't have a ton of lockdown to deal with this Morphling. As you said, you know, the Tiny with the Avalanche isn't fantastic versus the Morph. Could spell trouble.
The thing is, last game, though, where they didn't really have any kind of building taking potential on this Empire side, they've got to Lesh this game with Edict. So if there's a hero that can take towers, it's this guy.
Swap in. They're trying to bring down the Viper here as 9 switches up, and Kodos, he is going to get bought. Oh, the Winter's Curse doing so much work as Bivig does get blown up. Kodos will go down all the same though, and Phobos just about misses the Wyvern as he TP's out of danger there, so no kills being had, but it is going to be Empire picking up all the bounty runes as Sai just getting maximum efficiency out of that bottle as he does so. Look at these drawings on the map by Archangel.
Obviously, one thing we forgot to mention is Morph can just turn into Viper and use the Nether Toxin against him, just to break him for the corrosive skin, which is really nice. The break's very useful this game, just to kill off the Viper. Biffa's not even level 6 yet on this Earth Spirit, and we're 16 minutes into the game almost. This is not the ideal Earth Spirit time. He really wants to be like at least 7 or 8 at this point in the game.
It's a sad state of affairs for some of the members of Kaban, and a very happy state of affairs for 9, whom they're actually now going for Roshan. They've got this Vladimir's offering and the obviously anti-armor and enhanced damage. Yeah, Biver being chased down in the trees here. If he can make a bit of space here, it's not too bad, but they do kill him off pretty quickly. Meanwhile, Roshan is getting pretty damn low, and I don't think Empire have any idea this is going on. I mean, why would you? They're so far ahead. It's 60 minutes into the game.
Black Archangel's coming in. Can he get him in time?
No. Oh, maybe. No. Morphling stunned up. Oh, just finally managed to get it. Fearing for the worst there, but eventually they do manage to take it down. A nice Winter's Curse onto Pangolier, and Morphling will just murder his teammate. Stun comes out, but he manages to get the Strength Morph off in time. So they come forwards onto Maiden here, trying to blow him up. But in the backlines, the Viper's ripping through Cinder in here. He's going to be in some trouble. Going to pop that False Promise onto himself just to keep himself alive for the time being as the Purges come out. Trying to do a bit of damage to Maiden, but unfortunately will be dying himself as the False Promise pops, and down goes Sind. They lose 2 heroes for it, but they do take Roshan and get an Aegis on their max net worth Morphling. So this guy, top of the charts, has the Aegis, but still a huge ask for him to play off versus an entire team who are really far ahead of the rest of his teammates.
Wyvern is doing so much work this game. You know when you don't play against a hero in a while and you just forget what it does? Like, you forget how to play against it. It feels like this game where Kaban, they're not used to playing against this Wyvern, so they're just grouping up as you would normally without really thinking about the Wyvern. And they're forgetting about how much work it can do.
Yeah. I mean,
it's not just Wyvern, it happens with other heroes as well. But
and it's a great setup for the Leshrac as well, and even the Viper as well, and even the Tiny as well, to be honest. Like, they can all get in perfect position, which they do need to be. You know, getting these Nether Toxins down in these fights, you can get 2 off whilst the Wyvern ulti's going on, which is absolutely critical. There's so much which Empire can do during this Winter's Curse. It's such a good spell, this game.
The game's not all gloom and doom though for Kaban, I don't think. They are farming okay. They can get this E-Blade on the Morph, which is obviously really good at blowing people up, but it can also save people from the curse as well. So not, you know, the end of the road for them yet. They do still have ways back into the game.
And you always have to take into account as well, if you do have one hero who is above the rest on your team, you know, these hard carries like the Terrorblades, this game it's the Morphling. Some games it's a pretty tough game, but there are these heroes like Dazzle and this game Oracle who can enable this hero. You know, if you have these hero enables on your team, then it's a much less dire situation. Slark is actually getting really low here, but in comes the Atos onto Skitter, who is just going to go for the close range swap, which seems to be pretty... Oh, the curse up onto the high ground. They managed to catch out the Morphling. Can they bring him down in time, though? It doesn't look like they can, and now he can start morphing that strength, turning into the Viper and trying to deal a bit of damage to this Tiny, but Nine's actually in some trouble, and waveforming forward, so he does manage to get the kill onto Sai, turning back into the Viper, doing a ton of work, but will finally be brought down. Now Empire, can they get the second kill? The Aegis is gone, Phobos is waiting in the wings, but he doesn't have himself... Oh, never mind the damage Maiden took just there. Might just finish him off. Phobos running forward here, wants to find the right click damage. The Flight Dragon's trying to help out as well. Even, oh, a bad miss on that swashbuckle though. Does mean that he's probably going to get out okay. I don't think the Venge Illusion will be doing anything here. Maiden escapes, and it does look like the Morphling is going to get out as well as he makes it over to the top lane. Well, a very interesting fight, and again, Team Empire just unable to finish off this critical target. They do take him down once. They take his Aegis, but nothing more.
Yeah, not a bad fight though for Empire at all. Like, they take the Aegis away. Unfortunately, they didn't kill the Morph twice. Nine played that fight super well, swapping between the Viper and his hero. Using that break with the corrosive, with the Nether Toxin just to deal as much damage as he could. Just tank up as much as he could as well. But when this Diffuser Blade comes out on the Slark, I think this Kaban side might be in a little bit of trouble. Like, this Viper's building up towards... He's almost got the mech as well. Like, if you'd have had that mech in the last fight, the fight would have been completely different.
Yeah, I mean, mechs make all the difference sometimes, and especially when there are these big ultimates and big spells which don't quite finish you off. That's when you want to have that mech coming through and really kind of reviving a team up and renewing the fight within them. Well,
yeah, like Empire finished off a wave of items here, so Kaban have to be careful. The Yules is out on the Lesh, this mech is out on the Viper, Slark's just getting his Diffuser Blade now, so taking any kind of fight at this point as Kaban is going to be very difficult. They have just finished up the E-Blade on the Morph, but I think you still have to just dodge them as much as you can. Keep the Morph farming up. And this Pango is pushing waves out really well with the Maelstrom and farming well, so it's just Skitter that's, you know, falling behind. And the two supports.
Poor old Skitter. But yeah, I mean, this is an off-lane Venge, to be fair. This is not... Oh, I mean, it is a core Venge, but it's not like a core Venge.
It's like a POS 6 instead of a POS 2. I know what you mean. Oh, Cinderin, don't give your life away as well.
Gone away. He's got the false promise. It's going to be able to get it off just about in time, but I mean, it's only going to delay the inevitable as he gets tossed back into everybody, trying to heal himself up as he goes, but it's not going to be enough. Down he goes. Main will land the stun as well, just for good measure.
Luckily for Kaban, they've already taken the Roche, so they can't take that on the dire side at the moment. They're just going to have to try and wait to get this tier 2. Or go on the Morph.
Oh, Nine, he could be in some trouble here, getting rooted up, won't be able to waveform away. Avatos combo comes out, but he's got that strength morph coming through. Going to change into the Tiny, start to run away, tossing his teammate back to him. As in comes Slark, dodges completely wrong. Oh dear, that was not a good pounce as Nine continues to run. Is he going to go for the TP out here? He's still got 3 seconds to wait, and the stun comes through, lands onto the Morphling here. They've got him locked down. He's running out of mana, he's running out of strength as well. Only so much he can morph here as the Slark just gets bigger and bigger. 20, 21, 22, 23, 25, 25. He just takes through the Morphling. Oh no.
He's like, nice, I got 3 stats to farm with for the next like 30 seconds, 60 seconds. This is great, man.
Yeah, he's gonna be loving this.
69 Agi, dude. Having a great time.
69 Agi. Beautiful.
At least it stopped them being able to push towers, though, or whatnot. It was the Morph that died instead.
Yeah, I mean,
that's... isn't worth for Kaban, but even so.
Well, it's not, but at the same time, if you die pushing out a wave, then it always creates value in your death, you know, no matter the situation. If you die on the enemy's half of the map, you have forced them back, you have made space, especially when you're on the losing team.
They really need these Greaves on the Pango, I think, or at least a mech to be able to take fights now. He went for the Yules first before the mech. So obviously Yule's really good at not only just getting yourself out of Atos, but when you roll on top of somebody and you pop the Yules, you can instantly hit them again. So extra damage coming through. They have smoked up on the Kaban side though. They're looking for something here.
They're not going to find anybody though. I think they kind of assumed that Empire were roaming into their jungle, and that was not the case.
Yeah, I mean, Kaban are still just trying to dodge fights the whole time. They can't fight Empire at the moment, so they're just keeping them all farming. They're keeping them on top of the net worth chart. He is the top dog this game if it gets to the late stages. So.
Yep. But yeah, I mean, they really have closed down this gap between the Morphling, but still impressive that the Morphling's holding his lead, especially after that last death as well.
Sayu has a blink on this Tiny now. This is scary.
Actually kind of positioned well, though. I don't think they can bring him down quickly enough, especially not stop Sully. They're going to go into the Morphling as well. Can he get that Strength Morph off? A nice reaction from Cinder in there to get out the false promises. Morphling turns into the Viper straight away, just trying to bring down anybody he can find as the Maiden runs forward here, trying to bring down Cinder and will be able to get that kill. 9 actually dies. And over in the front line, Sayu gets this pick off onto DK Phobos. Everybody's dead on the side of Kaban, just like that. The fight split up into several different locations, and everybody just wins across the board for Empire there.
I have a really bad feeling that he might have just accidentally Agi morphed. Just as... Oh dear. I mean, I'm not really sure what happened there.
Looking at that death summary, it's very tricky to tell, but there was not a lot of damage done to him, especially considering he was in that Viper form for a lot of his life.
Who knows?
Yeah, there has to be some kind of... I think he was sitting on no HP in the Viper form, and I think he might have just been blocked from changing back into the...
I think
morphing back into the Viper, into the Morphling form.
Ah, yeah, okay. Do they...
After the first promise ended.
They haven't had to buy back on anybody, though, but there's a 12k net worth advantage all of a sudden now. I mean, they just managed to find the Morphling right at the start of that fight. Luckily, Sin got his ult off to keep him alive a little bit longer, but... Yeah, they ping out that there's probably going to be a ward there. I think Cinderin knows. Thanks. Does he know? Maybe not. Okay, he doesn't know. Good ward.
Easy. Oh, skitter.
Uh-oh, he's level 10, Tiny's level 14.
Hello, sir. Go back into my Leshrac as the Atos comes out. Stun to follow up as well. Vengeful Spirit gets dropped. 9 trying to do some damage inside, but that's not going to happen. Yule's up into the air onto the Morphling there, but we'll be able to get the waveform out of there. Meanwhile, Phobos gets a little bit stuck in the Roshan pit now held still by the curse. Meanwhile, Elmo jumping on the backlines on this Slark and finds a kill onto Cinderin, and now looking for more. Biver on the run. Does not want to be caught by the Slark here. Meanwhile, 9 gets himself away as well. Again, you know, they're surviving the fights. They're not losing everybody, but at the same time, it's not looking good either.
I think 9 really needs a BKB on this morph. Like, there's so much magic damage on this Dire side.
Yeah, I'm actually amazed he's not going for it.
Tiny. Even against the Winter's Curse. Like, Slark has a Diffusal Blade. There's no like really hard physical damage. Oh, good combo. They get the swap onto the roll on the Lesh, but he's so tanky. Yeah. He has Pipe, Yules, Atos.
This is a huge Leshrac. Oh my god. Biver just comes rolling in, says what's up, and immediately dies for it. Well, they will try and force back Team Empire, but I'm pretty sure Empire are going to go for high ground right now.
They have Greaves up in 5 seconds. Like, they're fine here on Empire.
Yep, they've got the sustain. They've got the damage as well. That much is true as they keep on finding these pickoffs onto the heroes of Kaban.
Well, this Venge is pretty much a support at this point. They're just waiting for the creep wave here on the Dire side. They don't need to force this quite as hard as they are, I don't think. Just wait for the creep wave and be patient here. At least Skitter respawns really quickly.
Yeah, that's true. The advantage of being such a low level.
Morphling. This Wyvern has a blink. Jesus.
Yeah,
I mean, that's the power of Tower Gold, I guess. And he is 4, 1, and 13 on this
He's
Wyvern.
also got 1,300 gold. I mean, that 90 gold per minute talent really coming into play, but still, he's got way more than a blink available to him right now.
He's taken part in 17 of the 25 kills on this Wyvern. Like,
damn.
Which is almost the most in his whole team, apart from the Lesh, who has taken part in 18. And obviously, when you're behind against the Slark, it's the worst feeling as well, because he just...
Maiden could be in some trouble. Swap comes in, and the damage to follow-up from Kevin is certainly enough to bring down Maiden here in the mid lane. And that's going to be a kill for 9.
The Roche is up.
I'm sure Kaban will be thinking about this one for sure. But they're looking to clear Empire out from behind them right now, as Archangel has been sitting on this cliff the entire time. No plans of getting down.
They're playing around their vision really well, though.
Dire's bottom tower is under
Well, they're going on to Sayo on the backlines, but now they just jump through and they want to take down the Oracle, force him to use that false promise on himself, which he will. Skinner now running around as Elmo just seeing all the damage he wants as 9 coming into this fight, but doesn't really know what to do with himself as he gets here. Run out of mana as well, meaning he's got to back himself away as Kodos manages to block the roll from Biver. Biver in a whole world of trouble right now. The Atos comes out onto the Morphling as well. Morph has to get himself away, trying to change between different forms, but it doesn't really matter. The Viper's going to go down. Now the Morphling revealed. He's trying to strength morph his way away, but Elmo just chasing deep. Empire under the tier 4s. They really want to catch out 9 here. The Viper strike comes out onto him as well. They're pouring so much damage into this guy, and finally they get the kill. The Viper, the Morphling, he's dead. Cinderin goes down as well. They are deep, Team Empire, and they're getting everything they want. 9 coming back, though. He wants to try and blow up the Viper, but it's just not enough damage to bring him down, especially with that corrosive skin going to work.
I mean, they're keeping themselves alive in the game still. They haven't really lost anything here, apart from all the kills. But this Slark has 35 or 105 Agi stolen, so... Mate, I think they just go Roche here on the Dire side with that extra Agi.
That's a lot of Blade of Alacrities right there.
Yeah. Oh, there's a DD up as well. This Slark is going to tear through Roche.
Jesus.
Or not, maybe not Roche.
Yeah, he leaps over to it. Yeah, maybe not Roche indeed, as they do get the kill onto Archangel here. And now Elmo is going to come in, pop that double damage. Skidder just gets annihilated. 9 in the back. Sorry, Pangolier in the backline is trying to play around with Kodos, but could be in some trouble right now as in they go and blow him up. Elmo just getting larger by the second. Now 129. So just throwing another Eagle Song on top of that. Those 10 Blades of Alacrities we've got. And Roshan is not lasting very long with this over 200 damage, nearly hitting 600 damage on the Slark right now.
They basically... They're 25k net worth behind in 30 minutes.
He went for the Dark Pack damage on the Slark.
Okay, I mean, it's fair enough, I guess. Just extra burst damage is always nice.
But yeah, versus the Morph, it's always important.
I thought the Pounce Leash would be better this game, but, you know, each to their own.
Yeah, it does stop the Morph waveforming, which is really important, but as you say. He's doing pretty well on the Slark, so we should be sure to criticise.
Yes, true. Here comes the Edict trying to run through the towers, but...
Yeah, he's got to be careful, though. I mean, we've seen how tanky he is, but he's not like... If he gets swapped out of position, then there could be trouble. But still 15 seconds until Nether swap available. Oh, toss back. Viper thrown out. Oh, sorry, the Morphling thrown out of position here. Will be able to get the waveform up onto the high ground. Meanwhile, Cinderin is just taken out on the back lines, and now comes on the Winter's Curse. They're going to bring down the Pangolier himself, and everybody's just dying in the middle of all of these heroes of the Dire. 9 trying to get himself away here, but does get Atos up, and it just torn apart. Empire find the kills. GG is called. Empire will take game number 2, which will even out this best of 3 series.
Yeah, this game came down to the laning stage a lot of it, I think. I mean, obviously 9 had a really good time, but the side lanes went so poorly for Kaban. Like, they couldn't really find the rotations that they wanted. This Winter's Curse was a massive problem for them as well. Like, it felt like this Winter's Curse was always killing either the Pango or at least somebody every single fight. And it instantly became like a 5 versus 4 straight away.
Oh, hands down. I mean, Archangel was the best like the biggest hero in this game for sure.
Yeah, I mean, we questioned the Wyvern pick at the start, but he proved why it was such a good hero against the Pangolier.
No doubt. He ruined people with it. That was very, very surprising for me. But well, I mean, if you know the hero, then you know the game. And 8-36 was the scoreline there as Kaban to get turned upside down by Team Empire. 9 nearly finds his way back into this game, but unfortunately in the end it is just Elmo and basically the entirety of Team Empire that just ripped through them. One big carry was not enough to carry Kaban through this second game, which will bring us to a game 3, which will be with you very shortly. This is the Beyond the Summit Spring Cup as these heroes battle it through in the EU CIS region for 10k in monies for a victory. I think it's dollars. I'm assuming it's dollars. It's Beyond the Summit. They're American. It's definitely dollars. 10k dollars up for grabs. We'll be back very shortly with the next match and the final match in this best of 3 series.